And so it continues. Hi everyone, my name is Charlie and today is the beginning of another reading vlog. By now, there should be a video online in which I couldn't decide between The Moonlight Markets by Joanne Harris and Rare Singles by Benjamin Myers as the book that I want to read next. However, I took the poll to Instagram and Rare Singles by Benjamin Myers won. At least I decided it's won straight away when Ben of Ben Reads Good told me to read it, and then Charlie agreed with him. I thought, well, there we go. So I read 100 pages of Rare Singles yesterday. I had hoped to finish it in one day, but as always, I overestimate how fast I can read. Thought that since I was beginning this book at 10 o'clock in the evening and I go to bed at 11, that somehow I could read 200 pages in that time. Well, I couldn't, but I am enjoying it. This book follows a man named Bucky as he travels from Chicago to Scarborough in England to perform at a Northern Soul event. He had one hit way back in the 1960s and he hasn't seen any royalties or any success from that and doesn't know how big he is thought of overseas because he was seen as a commercial flop in America. And then you have the other story of Dinah, a housewife whose husband is an arsehole and her son seems to be following suit. But one of the only things that she has in life is her love of Northern Soul and this song, Until the Wheels Come Off by Bucky. And so far we're following them as Bucky begins to slowly realise that people think a lot more of him than he thought, and Dinah as she just struggles with her husband. While I'm reading this, I am reminded of when Victoria Wood would do her television plays, and I feel like this would make a really good TV film. It could probably do like a huge film, but in my mind it's one of those films that will get shown on the BBC first before heading to DVD, and it's just got a warmth to it so far, and I'm enjoying seeing this person in Scarborough. Never been to Scarborough myself, but I've travelled to Whitby a lot, and so far Bucky's unable to contend with seagulls, and I can appreciate that. Anyway, today I am in work. So I'm going to try and read a small portion before my volunteers get here, have a bit of coffee and then set about my day. Still got the remembrance window in. That's going to stay in until Wednesday at least before we switch everything over to Christmas, not just our Christmas tables. We only really got 6 weeks of sales left, haven't we? Technically, yeah, we've got 6 weeks of sales until Christmas. And thinking about 3 weeks we've got our late night opening too. So I say let's go for it, and I'll see you when I see you. Have to be quick for my volunteer will arrive soon. It is Wednesday. Yesterday I finished reading Rare Singles by Benjamin Myers and I have to say I enjoyed it. I was talking to Charlie about how conflicted this book made me because I really enjoyed the story, really enjoyed the characters. It was exactly like I said. I could visualize this incredibly well. If I were a screenwriter or a director, I would love to be the person or involved in the creation of adapting. I think this would make a great adaptation. I know we shouldn't say these sorts of things because there are two different mediums entirely, but I thought that it was a brilliant tale of friendship with undertones of grief and sadness and the joy that people can find. Somewhat reminiscent of Rachel Joyce's books, I thoroughly enjoyed it. However, there were certain instances where Bucky was on his own and he's an American, but English terms would be used for words, or he'd be looking at stuff and it would describe everything that was there, and I'm thinking he wouldn't know what all these things are. So then in my head I'm trying to separate the narrator from Bookie from Dinah, and then Charlie said to me yesterday, if you enjoyed it, you'll just have to get rid of all the things where you're finding issues and just enjoy what you enjoyed. So I liked it, and it's probably a favourite for November, if not the year. It did make me realise I should have read Benjamin Myers before now. I should have read all of the books of his that I've ever borrowed from the library or the charity shop. I think he's getting added to the authors that I want to read next year. So it's looking like it'll be Benjamin Myers and Barbara Pym, but we will see. After speaking to Charlie yesterday, I took Sally for a walk. I didn't know whether my dad was going to be there because he had to get someone in to fix the tractor. So I set off, walked from my house to the towpath, down the towpath, turned around, headed on home. Sally is still not fond of the main roads. In fact, there's a crossing where I have to carry her every time. And then in the evening, after having a bath ready for today, I clicked on YouTube and saw the Booker live stream was on, so clicked it just as they announced the winner, and immediately started laughing because the winner is the only book that I've heard anything about, and this came from, again, Charlie, who rechristened this book because she did not like it. She found it boring, so I was laughing. Will I read it one day? I wouldn't like to say. I avoided all of the Booker books this year. I couldn't tell you many books that have come out this year. A book won the Booker Prize, and I'm sure there were some readers who were thrilled and some readers who weren't. That's just the way of things. And then last night, very helpfully, I did not sleep at all. My dad got out of bed at 3 o'clock to go downstairs and make himself a cup of tea, and I was still awake for that. It's going to be fun today. No sleep, hoping that I can keep fully caffeinated. But I did book Friday off, so I should hopefully be able to catch up on sleep over the next 2 days. For now, having just realised that I don't have a tissue with which to blow my nose, I am going to go and drink a cup of coffee. It's Friday. It's 1:20 in the afternoon, and I am only just beginning to get ready for the day. Well, it's not even the day. I booked a day off work because we had Poetry Pandemonium yesterday, and that runs rather late, so I didn't get in until after 11. We had guest poets of Kieran Hodges and a poet I hadn't heard perform before, who is Shaq, who did a lovely ode to fried chicken, which as a vegetarian I could appreciate. Let's go back to yesterday. Yesterday I walked Sal in the morning, led the writers group for the afternoon, in which I decided to keep everything incredibly basic and just run it around the idea of character, conflict, problem, and do that sort of thing, and just give them the aim of leaving the workshop having got the bones of an idea. Then in the evening it was Poetry Pandemonium, as I say. I did one poem from Shepherd's Delight, which was Bury Me in My Wellies, which we've heard here before, and another from the next collection, which was based on something I saw happen outside the charity shop. This morning I awoke at 8:30, and the first thing I did was watch last night's episode of Drag Race UK and the episode of Drag Race Down Under before editing last week's vlog, which should have gone online on Sunday. I am a week behind in videos now. I have not recorded any videos for this week. I feel like the inspiration for videos has become a bit lacking. I don't know what to record. I feel like I ought to do original content, and then I'm like, well, what is original nowadays? It's why last week I did that darn try a chapter first line thing. I did the first line battle last week. Have I read anything since last we spoke? No. I did finish Rare Singles, didn't I, earlier this week, and I've spoken to you about that. I was in work on Wednesday, and oh gosh, that was a funny day, was Wednesday. We're going all over the place in, telling this story, but Wednesday was busy with customers, but we didn't have very good sales. A lot of people came in wanting to converse with me about things. I had one volunteer turn up and tell me he was getting over COVID. Another one had turned up with a cold, so then immediately I start questioning whether I'm going to end up being ill. As we know, I hadn't slept at all Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and so I can't sleep during the day. So even if I come home and done, tried having a nap or something, it wouldn't have worked because I just can't sleep when it's not the time to go to sleep. So I eventually, go to bed. I slept for 10 hours straight, I did not wake up until 9 o'clock in the morning on Thursday morning, so I'm having a couple of days of catching up on sleep, because I know that when I'm in work I sleep less, so I probably won't sleep much tonight either. Yesterday I did bring books downstairs with the intention of reading them, but I didn't, and those books were the Elizabeth Taylor collected stories. I have decided to read a specific number of pages per week to get this finished by the end of the year now, because I am a little bit behind. And Nigel Slater, I do think I caught up with Nigel Slater. But the book that I brought downstairs with me was The Moonlight Market by Joanne Harris. This was the book that was the one that I got stuck between Rare Singles and this one. And on Instagram, Rare Singles is the book that won the poll. But on YouTube, The Moonlight Market won the poll. So again, you people are useless. I've had a message from Sandbach Library this morning asking whether I want to go and read from Shepherd's Delight there and at Holmes Chapel, and if I can get events for the Shepherd's Delight, that'll be great. It's weird that all these things for the poetry collection are now happening a year after, and I did actually say to this librarian that I'm bringing out Mistakes Mean Murder in February. I've set a date now and everything, so it's like it's going to be about 5 years to the day, and I do wonder whether to do this whole it's never been 5 years thing, but then I feel like the same thing about Doris, it's never been 10 years, so I don't know. It was never meant to be this long between books. These were meant to be rather pithy books that I could get out one after the other, and I know I say it regularly. But it disappoints me that I wasn't able to do that, especially considering I finished An Heir to Murder in 2018. I didn't look at it in 2019 apart from having Dane edit it, and then it came out in 2020. I wasn't to know what would happen over the last 5 years. And that's why I just have to keep telling myself. My plans now are to try and figure out where to walk Sally, because we did the park yesterday and we've done the towpath and nobody's here to give me a lift if I wanted a lift anywhere to walk. Maybe try and get some writing in today. I don't know. I've got to have a bath at some point. I've got to make some food at some point. I've got to read at some point. I've got to practice Italian. There's a lot to do, and I'm just surprised by how fast the day has got away from me. I didn't expect editing that video to take so long. I will hopefully see you tomorrow to end this video in a way that befits these vlogs. Ignore the halo of light above me. I'm not moving you because my mother's going to be here with coffee soon. It's Saturday. I'm only here to round the video off. I arrived to work and there are issues aplenty already. If there is not a week that goes past at this shop without there being some sort of scandal, or someone's mad at somebody else, or something like that, then it'd be, well, honestly, it'd probably be like working somewhere normal. I've arrived and my entire back room stinks of vomit, and I've no idea why, but that's going to be fun to work in today. Somebody donated a lot of cameras earlier this week, and I don't know what's on there, but I've been told that they've all been transferred, that she'd left a lot of personal photographs on there that our volunteer has transferred to his pen drive for her to come and if she wants them. And also, I've been left this woman's name as though I know my customers that well, that we're on first and surname bases here. My biggest issue this week was I said I was going to do Christmas on Monday and somebody came in, took the stuff out the window yesterday and decided they were going to do Christmas yesterday, but I've not got the Christmas stock out, so how the heck am I supposed to fill it for Christmas when I haven't got Christmas stock? It's like they don't think about these things. I can't access the Christmas stock till Monday, that's why it wasn't getting done till Monday, but the day that anybody listens to me would be a fine day indeed. So yeah, I'm starting off the day exceptionally well. The shop stinks of vomit and I've got to find stock that I don't have. Anyway, yesterday, after speaking to you, I had a bath and I read some of The Moonlight Market by Joanne Harris, which has immediately thrust us into this story, and I can guess that we're hinting at something that's going to occur. Joanne Harris is suggesting that the story is going to go in one direction, but I don't know if it's going to go in another, whether there's going to be some form of twist in there. Had I just sat down and read, as I planned to, this book all in one go, then it would have been finished yesterday. I'm going to read some more tonight and then finish it tomorrow, because it's just that type of book. Quite the compulsive adult fairy tale, and I am a fan of what I have read so far, which means that this week I will have finished one book. These things happen. I've slowed down my reading this year and I just got to contend with that. So yeah, that's all I've got to say today. I am going to go and figure out what I'm going to do about this Christmas window and try and find the source of the vomit smell in the shop. Don't I lead a very exciting life? Had I walked the dog when I spoke to you yesterday? I think I had. So yeah, so if you want to talk about anything I've talked about in this video, then please feel free to do so in the comments. I hope that you got something out of this, because until next time, that is all.